I could be earning $172,315 per year. We'll be talking about why I actually don't earn that. I might be on track for $83,000 this year. That is a lot of money that I could be making. Why am I not going for that? So we're essentially talking about my opportunity cost of time. Right now, I'm splitting my time between the food truck part-time and also my main job. And we're looking at the assumption if I spent most of my time doing my main job, I could be bringing in a grand total of $172,315 per year, which is a very great sum of money. So right now, I don't open the food truck every week, but we're gonna do the assumption that I'm open, let's say 2 days per week, and I do 1 day of prep. But we're gonna dial it down because if I were to be flying full time, I would need some time off. So we're gonna say we're doing 5 days a week, which is a classic work week for people who work on the ground. But we're going to say we're doing the highest value trips I can do. We're going to say I'm in the air for 9 hours per day, but I'm away from home for about 12 hours to 14 hours. So these are very taxing trips, but they do pay the most, but you have to work very hard for it. So I would be working very hard. I'll be efficient. I'll be making the most money I can per day. This is an ideal situation. This is not always how it's going to be because me getting these trips, these aren't necessarily likely. I would have to search the board to see if people are dropping them. People are dropping them, but 5 days a week for a full year, I'm not sure. So this is if I'm working like this for 11 and a quarter months. I do have 3 weeks paid vacation, and this is under the assumption that I'll get a 5.5% bonus, which is like me to actually profit that on the food truck. We would have to generate sales of around, comment below how much you think that we would have to generate in sales. I'll give you a few moments. Just comment below. It would be $294,836 per year to profit the same amount. That is if our fixed cost is $1,365 fixed. And we also would have a variable cost of 36%. That's including food costs, our transaction fees, and saving up for different licenses, different cleaning we have to do, and also if we have to replace or buy some new equipment. So that's 36%. It might be a little bit more if we're calculating with all the licensing and the fees we have to do, but we're going to safely say 36%. So the schedule I just mentioned, making that $172,000, that's not realistic for me as you'll be away from home a lot. I don't mind being away from home, but having the downtime and being able to enjoy a city on my time away from home would be great. Working hard sometimes and be able to enjoy your time and relax is the balance that I'm looking for. So I'm dialing back. So with my 5 days a week, let's say I'm going to be going to some more interesting places. I'll have time to relax, not just going down and back. Let's say I would make $131,478. That's a little bit more realistic with the trips and the days I can work and what I can do, and also doing the high value stuff. But to profit that same amount, my food truck would need to generate $231,028. That's still with the same assumption of $1,365 of fixed cost, and that is 36% variable cost. That's going to be sales per week of $4,260 or $889 per day. This is if we're open 5 days a week. If we have an average order of $15.50, that's going to be 57.35 orders per day. I think on our highest days, we've done around like 30 plus orders. So kind of close, but a lot more to do to reach this number. We definitely would have to have our marketing push, reach out to some influencers, and just be more consistent so people know that we're here and they can rely on us to come. So doing all this sales, it's definitely doable by one person, but it's going to be a lot of work, constantly cooking, and making sure you have all your ingredients to just cook. More realistically, I would need an employee to be able to help out, maybe out a full day. They can be trained and well skilled to be able to control things for a whole day, or just working with me alongside to make orders even easier. If I would have an employee, let's say we'd have to add another 30% to our cost. So that's another $69K, meaning we would have to increase our sales by $69K or a little bit more because there might be some more variable costs. But we would have to do, let's say, over $300,000 to profit that same amount. So with my job, I have the ability to make big money. That's if I, work hard or work efficient doing these high value trips. But I have this job where I'm able to travel and I want to enjoy my time, and I have the ability to have a lot of time off. So ideally, I want to have some balance. So if I sunset the food truck business to just do events, high ticket events, I probably wouldn't work 5 days a week consistently. I would be more efficient and to work higher ticket trips and also go to fun places. I would definitely be making way more. Like I said, I think I'm on track to make 83,000 this year. Last year I made 81,000. I'm making more than I did last year, and I think if I do the calculations, I'm on track for 83K. Let's say next year I make the transition. I definitely will be making over $100,000. I would make sure I guarantee that. What I usually do is just calculate the number I want to make and divide it by the hours I need to do with a little bit of fluff. And then I try to target that average per month to be able to reach my goal. I'm very comfortable on the salary I've been making right now. I can be even more comfortable and reach our financial freedom goals sooner, which is what I want to do. So I'm probably going to sunset the business. I still haven't made the decision, but making close to $200,000 at my current job sounds like a very attractive thing. And like I said, I'm potentially going to be investing over 50% of my income to reach that fire number even sooner. So that's probably what I'm going to do. The reason why I haven't done it is because I kind of believed in the business of scaling. Then in the midst of doing that, I realized that doing this full time, doing my passion as a full time job isn't what I really want out of life. I really do enjoy cooking, creating, sharing my food, and getting the feedback and just being creative and working with my hands. It is a lot of work. It is very stressful when I'm busy. I'm just constantly going. It is really not fun. And I know I can do it. It's just probably not what I want to do. My main job isn't the most challenging. And I think this is more rewarding, working with my hands, getting the feedback of something you create and just building is more rewarding. But my main job is, I'd say it's kind of cushy, and it's just the golden handcuffs. And I think it will be wise for me to dedicate at least 10 more years to accelerate my income, accelerate my investments, to be able to leave the workforce sooner so I can live off of dividends, live off the appreciation, and just be able to, maybe follow my passions later on, travel more with my loved ones, raise a kid. So like I keep saying, next year is probably going to look like me getting a generator, being mobile, going to more high ticket events with the food truck on demand. The holding cost for the business will be much lower because I'm paying like $550 for this parking spot for power and water and the visibility. Whereas if I have it in storage, I'm paying less than 200, ideally like 120 or less, and my holding costs will be lower. The small business loan that I actually have for this trailer is almost done. I could, save a bunch of money in a couple months and just pay it all off, but the interest rate is pretty low, and the amount that is left is growing less than my investment. So I want to put more money into investments, but I could pay it off sooner. But I could be making close to $200,000 if I wanted to, if I worked as much as I'm doing between two things into one thing. I could be putting that more into the market, and I could be leaving the workforce sooner. Maybe that's what I'm going to do next year. But the money is there. The passion is here. The money could be here. I think I would enjoy a more stress-free life of just focusing on my main job, traveling more since I have a bunch of time off if I wanted to, putting more money into investments. I think that's what I'm going to do, but stay tuned to follow the journey because I will tell you exactly what I will do.